Hi, my name is Jonathan Hopp. I'm the author of the books So You Want to Play Go. Here's all of the good stuff right here, my email address, my website, everything. If you want to know more about me. This is my 10-minute Go series, which means I'm making this for people who are absolute beginners at Go, have no idea what they're doing, maybe have seen my video on the rules of the game of Go, but don't know anything more about it than that. All right? So, my 10-minute go means I'm going to give an explanation in 10 minutes or less with the timer starting now. Today's topic, counting territory, right? When does the game actually end? So we're not really talking about the beginning of the game, all right? The end of the game actually tells us a lot about the beginning of the game. So we talked about last time, like, whether your stones can be captured or not, right? And so that plays a big part in whether or not you have territory. So we got to start figuring out taking the shapes we see on the board and making sense of them, all right? So these shapes have meaning to us with respect to the game. It's usually easy to tell what's going on the boards, for example, if we've got stones lined up in a row like this. Okay, I can tell that the space underneath this is probably going to be territory. I can count the liberties. That's, it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. But the problem is that when, in a real game, we're going to have cuts and we're going to have fights and there's going to be all sorts of extending and there's going to be an Atari and then we don't, oh my gosh. So we got to be able to tell where one group ends, another group begins. And that takes a little bit of practice. So the best way to do it is, well, practice. So let's get started. Here's the end of the game, all right? And trust me, it's the end of the game. I'll get into a little bit towards the end, but why it is the end of the game. We need to count points. We need to figure out where's Black's territory, where's White's territory, and then we'll know who's who, basically. All right? So, first off, White gets 6.5 points just for going second. Remember, it's called Komi, Komi. It's a Japanese word. Okay, White goes second. He's at disadvantage, so therefore he gets points for going first. Okay, pause the video. All right, I want you to think about it for a second. Take your time and count. I'll wait. Okay, so are you ready? Let's count territory. First, let's figure out where Black's territory begins. This is Black's wall. And Black's wall looks like it's facing this way. So all of these points should be ours, all right? Now you'll notice that there are a couple stones that don't seem to be surrounding territory, like this one right here. This one's called Dame, okay? D-A-M-E. It's a Japanese word, Dame. And it means no good, useless, worthless, okay? This stone is basically, it's not doing anything but covering up one of our own points. We don't like that. So, now that we know where Black's territory begins and ends, we can start counting Black's territory. So let's just straight up count it. Okay? Like so. Looks like Black has a pretty decent amount of territory, all the way up to 27 points, right? It looks like a lot, right? Well, remember, goes second. He gets that Komi, those extra points for going second. So Black may go first, but yet again, he's got a lot of points to make up for at the beginning. Let's count White's points. Getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You see all these now that you've now the intersections are going away. It's a lot easier to see where White's territory was and how this wall is covering all of it. So White has 26 points on the board. If we add 5.5, we get 31.5 points, which means White wins by 4.5 points. So it looks like this is a pretty good game for White. All right, let's practice some more. Okay, so this was a little bit more difficult because I didn't want to just have everything, split down the middle and make it easy on you. So we've got 4 quadrants. So it looks like White's got 2 groups and Black's got one big group. All right, this group in the middle for Black, we're gonna say it's one big group because all the cells are connected. But it looks like these 2 white groups are on opposite sides of the wall. So different groups, but that doesn't matter. We can still count their territory. All right, I'll give you a second. Pause the video and count. Remember, White gets 5.5 points of combing. All right, let's do this, shall we? All right, let's count points for Black first, all right? Looks like it's 18 points of territory. Not bad at all, I'd say, for Black, right? Especially since he's got all his territory in the middle. Now, let's see if White can match that. Remember, goes a game of territory. Whoever has more at the end is the winner and gets the bragging rights. Oh, looks looks like white has 18 points, but that pesky Komi comes into play again, and looks like white's the winner of this battle. So even though these two groups, this group here, I'll mark it with the letter A, and this group B, were separated and divided by a wall, it doesn't really matter. Just because they're separated doesn't mean anything. White gets these points, and white gets these points. Now, I'll try this one. I'll let you think about it again. You don't go for it. Pause the video and go for it. All right then. You know the drill. Let's count. 19 points for black. Well, it looks like we can't let white have all the games. Looks like white only made 12 points, and with his 5.5 Komi only has 17.5 points. In this case, black wins. You'll notice that actually white looks like he has a lot of moves that aren't really doing anything. These moves right here, they're not surrounding anything, are they? They're not making points. Looks like white is several moves behind black in terms of making points. That's no good for him, right? Alright, so that looks like we've got a little bit more of a handle on counting our territory, but let's up the ante a little bit. Okay, this was a scene from earlier from my previous video. I'm going to remove all the extra little stuff on here. And we had dead stones, right? We had stones that were essentially dead. They could not make two eyes. So that means this first group A and the second group B. All right, these stones only have one liberty each. They're basically in Atari, and there's no way that we can form that two-eyed shape such that we're indestructible. So these stones, there's no reason for white to play and kill them. All right, one of the biggest beginner mistakes that people make is they try to just say, okay, I see dead stones, they gotta die. I appreciate the sentiment, but these stones are automatically dead. There is no logical course. There are no moves on this board where black can play to where these stones are ever going to do anything other than die. So there's no reason to play. This is a really, really big concept because there's no reason for white to play here because white takes away his own liberties, right? And that's his own liberties, his own territory. Why would you take away your own territory? I wouldn't. It's points for you. And there's nothing black can do to put you in any sort of danger because black cannot play at J1 and black cannot play at E7. So you're good. All right, and that's why two eyes are so important. So if we go back to one of our original games, one of the biggest things that people say to me is like, well, you know, we count territory, I get all that, it's all well and good, but I really don't know if this is territory. How do I know without beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is territory? You'll get some more experience or learn more about it, but essentially is, can you make two eyes? That's the $1,000,000 question because the two-eyed group is an indestructible group. Without that, you don't have anything. Let's say white plays something crazy. I don't believe you have territory. That's not your territory. I'm going to just play a stone here, and playing a stone inside your wall is going to work for me. All right. Black says, fine, I get rid of one of your liberties. And really, honestly speaking, black could play just about anything, or even just ignore. In fact, let's just ignore. Let's pass. Let's just say, okay, whatever, I'm just going to pass. White plays another move. Black passes. There's no reason to play here. Okay, white goes here. Black passes. White plays here. Black passes. White plays here. And then black will finally play a move, right? I'm going to kill your shape. You can't make two eyes. If white plays here, right? And let's just say white starts to lose liberties on the outside, right? So black plays Atari, white takes, white's gone. There is nothing white can do, absolutely nothing, that will make it such that he will have two eyes. Eventually, he will run out of liberties before black does, and his group will be captured. That means, therefore, without playing all of this stuff is completely unnecessary. Black passed multiple times, right? Black just said, here's a free move, all right? It's Christmas, here's a free move, right? Despite the fact of doing all that, white could not make that two-eyed group, and black will just basically take points. Pass. You know, that. Thank you for the stone. If white plays another move, pass. Thank you for the stone. All right, you're just giving points to your opponent. That means if that's all you're left of us, the only thing you're left with doing, this is black's territory. All right. So once you get that two-eyed idea down, once you have the life and death, like your stones need to be indestructible. Once you have the idea down, you'll be able to see the end of the game a lot clearly. So that looks like we've covered everything we're going to cover today. I hope you had fun, and remember, all of my good stuff is down here. If you like your games reviewed, have questions or anything, please email me. I love to get fan mail. I will check you out next time. Bye bye.